So break is over. Let's continue crushing the Sunday tournaments, hopefully. Going to 3-bet queens here. Don't think we accomplish anything by flatting here since we're playing against a recreational player. Interesting spot here with the nines. He's reshoving 11 big blinds, but we still have an open raiser and a cold caller. It's definitely quite close. And he can have also a few traps. I don't think it's a spot where we're going to gain so much money. I mean, his range were pretty much 7s or 8s plus. It's not like... it's not like super crazy nice. Well, here Queen Jack, easy call on the turn. River gets extremely nasty. I mean, I don't think he's gonna bluff all his ace-x diamonds. Apparently he might, I don't know. It's so tough to find bluffs here actually, but we also have all the king X and we have straights ourselves and 2 pairs, so it's a good hand to bluff. So if he bets we can play check shove, but I don't think it's the best bluff catcher. Oh, I think we have to go for this one. Yeah, I mean now if he jams, I would be calling very loose. Like if I have king 10 suited, I think Spacey supposed to ISO jam very loose here. I'm gonna squeeze ace 10 off. Oh fuck, this was a misclick. Min squeeze ace 10 off. Yeah, 8-7 suited here, pretty reasonable. Yeah, we have one player behind here. I'm just gonna fold tens. Yeah, party poker software is bugging. I think this is so weird. When now it works. Why did it min squeeze? I'm not gonna open. I have a pretty big bounty. I think people can go extremely crazy after me. Here I mean, king jack off is just a hand we have to call. Why are we so short here? I expect people 3-betting too many king queens, so I think we're doing quite okay here on the flop. And if he jams the turn, I mean, yeah, we have to call. Like, just ace king aces. He could have hands like 4-6 or 8-9 or flush draws. So it's so easy to overbluff these spots. Not a big fan of jamming here. I think I'm gonna check back most of my range and then let him do something stupid on the river. Going to 3-bet ace-10 suited. Actually, the big blind, you can see also here 3-bet 1, 400 hands, so he seems to be a recreational player. So I'm just going to call, play with the big blind as much as I can here. Just now the river, I'm going to jam. I mean, he has 120. I think he could also have a hand like King 6 off or King 3 off, or these kind of hands. People are 3-betting a ton in these days from the big blind. So I'm gonna raise his bet. I think he will be c-betting 7s, 8s, and also then betting a lot of turns. Can apply a lot of pressure on these pairs. Have immediate forward equity against his ace kings, ace jacks. Ace 3 is a hand we're gonna check back the flop, and we're also gonna check back the turn. Nothing so spectacular here. We definitely don't want to bet the turn here. This hand is so susceptible against check raises. Here the queen jack off, we're gonna get in. If he jams the river, it gets extremely nasty. Oh, even dominated for 5 big blinds. Yeah. You should definitely not rebuy here in this stage. I thought it's a little deeper. I missed that. I mean, I think we have better bluff catchers. I mean, he could go crazy with any heart. It's also a spot that is extremely easy to overbluff, but I'm gonna let it go. I think the ace now and off, I'm just gonna open shove here. Easy jam with the queens. Ice and off is a little too early to play here. And we get the call from nines, pretty standard. I think there he can't fold there with a bounty in play. here without immediate equity, drawing that against any 9, against the big blind range, just going to check back. Easy defend with the ace-8 off. I'm going to bluff, just let's see the river. There might be some rivers where we can do something, but I think we have immediate fold against all the under pairs. Here with an easy call. Wow. That makes no sense that he's jamming the river at the turn. I mean, like all my bluffs. Oh, that's an interesting river. We have the nut flush draws. We have hands like 7-8 in diamonds. Not that, probably would be keep bluffing any 10x in diamonds, and I'm just gonna bet very big here. Yeah, that was very surprising that he jams the turn, but of course we can't fold there. Are we gonna rebuy? I'm gonna rebuy here for the recording, so we might spin it up. Because we don't have that many interesting bounty tournaments left here. But you should definitely not do it. That's definitely not plus EV. Seven. Just gonna rejam the ace queen off here. So on the 530 we have 77 left and 40 are in the money. And $500 big bounty hunter, we have 81 left and 72 in the money, so 11 to go. Here in the Sunday Super High Roller we have 33 left and 16 in the money. And what else? What else? Just call with the queen jack off. I'm gonna peel once here and check back the turn, and then if he checks the river I can be very sure that he doesn't have a hand and I can just bluff the river. Unless he has sixes, which I'm afraid of, he might be bluff catching with. But other than that, he will have a lot of king highs or middling hands, and we can just king 10 and ace 3 off easy folds, and we can just float this hand and then take it down on a later street. Especially when he snaps checks. I think recreational players, once they are mentally done with a hand, you can also online get some tells out of it. Because let's say if he has, what was the board? Oops. No. So if he has a 5, he might be considering value betting or block betting. If he has kings, queens, jacks, like there's so many middling hands that might be block betting / value betting against my weaker ace-x. How's that possible? Ace? Nope. That was pretty quick. Yes, bounty tournaments are definitely extremely high variance. I'm gonna step with this hand on the turn. I'm gonna bluff the river as well. I think a lot of club hands might already start bluffing. So if he especially has a hand like, 10-9 with 10 in clubs or king jack with king in clubs, they might already start bluffing the turn flop. 10-9, yeah, I think pretty standard jam here. No 9. And we flop the word. What else do we have? So we have the Sunny Hooper, the Sunny Hooper High Roller, the Sunny Super High Roller. I think here I'm just gonna jam for a bounty, less than 25 bigs, 9-8 suited, decent hand to do it with. In theory, he shouldn't do a lot of raise folding here. He should only do a little raise folding, maybe 20% of the time. But I think people do raise fold way more often. Than they're supposed to. And of course, this is huge for us. This is huge for EV. Very thin open raise. Smaller has a very low 3-bet. Big blind as well. Don't seem the most aggressive players. I think it's fine. Gonna start with a bet. 6-9 off, easy limp. And we're gonna check it back. We even turn a gutter. And river. I mean, we get a really decent price. Oops. Okay, I mean, it's close anyway. It's not like that I would have fist pumped snap called. But I should definitely keep in mind that I don't have a time bank here anymore. And of course here we just get it in. Don't want him to play stop and go against me, so I make it a little bigger. And ace-9 off. We cover big blind. We cover low hijack. Very marginal, of course. So here, okay, here we 16 to go, so it's not really. Okay, he definitely raised forwards too much. Yeah, of course, here we just jam. And here against Malacca style. And in both instances they fold. That's also right. Jack-7 off, and we're gonna fold against a raise or a shove. Would probably defend Jack-8 off and better. Jack-9 off and better. Jack-8 off really depends on his sizing. Sunday Super High Roller here, 33 left. Yeah, okay, there's still the late registration period. Definitely want to bluff this hand. I have easy call here with the ace queen. King jack suited. This guy is very loose and sticky, so I 3-bet this for value. And gonna second barrel here, the turn. Oops. We have immediate fold equity against his 10x hands. And if a club or spade gets there, we fire through. I don't expect him to have many pairs, but I think he has a bunch of ace highs, so I'm going to second barrel the turn here. Like ace 10s and ace 9s suited with backdoors. I think a lot of his pairs would 4-bet jam pre-flop. So it's not like he has a ton of sets on this board. He might have a few, of course, but and he's gonna have a really, really shitty spot with his ace 10s and ace jacks, which he all will have in his range. And we just boost our EV so much when we make him fold those hands. Oh, we have a bubble here, right? Do we have a bubble here? Oh yes, we do. I'm gonna 3-bet again this hand. I definitely want to 3-bet stronger hands against him. Probably should make it a little bigger. And here we just jam the ace 9 suited against hijack, pretty standard. Now it's a little different since we're a little deeper, so you might now have more pairs. Anyway, I'm gonna c-bet this flop. We block king queen, king jack, and I'm again gonna go and second barrel a lot of turns against him. I expect him to float with a lot of ace highs. Easy in get here with the 7s, and we win at least a small bounty. Oh, I was even on the bubble. Yeah, I'm gonna second barrel this turn. If the river is a non-club, I'm gonna shove against all his. And now we can check back. Because we have showdown value against all nut flush draws. He's not gonna fold the queen. Oops. Okay, I have to be very careful here. Again, this guy already raised folded 2 times. I'm just like think I have way too much fold equity against him. The jack definitely saved my tournament life. You would have never folded ace queen. Yeah. Easy jam here with ace jack off. Ace-8 suited. I am going to check call. You can do a shit ton of different things here. You can check call, you can check raise, you can bet. I usually mix it up. I mean, sometimes I bet, sometimes I check raise. Again, we can check call, we can check raise, jam river, play it aggressively. We can lead the turn. Not gonna bet that big here. It's hard for me to have bluffs. Now we're gonna get it in with our ace queen here. 74, no. We're still on the bubble? Holy crap. Let's see. I mean, the bubbles on bounty tournaments isn't that big, but yeah, I mean, it's really, really annoying. I think it's also, there's a certain, I mean, there's a lot of money on our table, right? If we just blind down and I think, let's see how many chips he has, 40, yeah, we have to call. I'd probably go for it. Do I go for it? It's so profitable for me, like, or let's say my EV goes up so much when I cover those stacks here. But of course, with ICM in play, it's always very, very risky. I could play call. I can still call, actually. I don't need to jam. I think it's strong enough against his range, for sure. I mean, he's a chip leader. He will probably open any ace and shit ton of family. I'm gonna easy call with ace king off. I'm gonna call and play post flop. We're gonna call once here with eights. And we check. I mean, here's we're quite deep. We have a couple of options. We could either just jam, we can 4-bet call. I mean, if we 4-bet, I mean, we can also just jam ourselves. It's not going to make such a difference. We either, yeah, we need a call. Here's ace queen himself. Like, if we 4-bet and they jam, if we 4-bet to 130k, we're also committed. So it's really whatever. It's a spot jacks late position battle against two aggressive racks. Even though it's quite deep. We just have to close our eyes, click the all-in button and hope and pray for the best. We're out of position. We can't call and play. Yeah, I mean, or you just have to win those flips sometimes. Yep. GG. But that's all right. I think there's nothing we can do, and that's the point. If we easy call with fives here. If we 3-bet, cold 4-bet, and he jams, he has all the ace kings in his range, and then you can't fold anymore. I'm gonna check back here. Stack to pot ratio is pretty shallow. Ace is a really bad card. You definitely, with the stack to pot ratio, you want to check back your sets decent amount of the time. And now we can bet the river. We're not gonna get that much value anyway here. But maybe we do something. Maybe he jams his king deuce. Easy call here with the jacks. It's a bluff catcher. That's an interesting turn. I like that. Gonna raise the king 7 off. Definitely want to mix in some open raises with offsuited kings. Oh, I have to be very careful with open raising here actually, because we're still... Oh no, we're in the money. Okay, ace ten suited now, I have to raise broke. My bounty is too big. Can't raise forward this end. A7 off, I'm gonna open raise. Gonna raise fold. Eights here, I mean, pretty safe to say that he reshove any pair, so we have to go with it. Probably go with 8s plus. Yeah, if he has ace 9 suited, I mean, he will easily have 7s, 6s, 5s, all these kind of hands in his range. King 10 suited, we go broke pre-flop. Ace queen, we call and turn jam. If he has a jack, then yeah. That's then really nice. He can have all sort of flush draws, 10 9s, king 10s, and here good luck us. We need a jack or a spade. Yep, not running so well today here in all-in situations. Queen 8 suited. I think it's also reasonable to open shove. We can also open limp. We can raise forward. Ace 4 deuce off, less than 20 bigs against him on the button. Easy reshove. I really hope he's not waking up with a hand. Against the 2.5x here, I'm folding my queen 6 off. And they also wake up with hands. GG Sunday Supersonic. But we have the hotter 215. That's actually very interesting. His bounty is one starting bounty. He jams 11 big blinds. Starting stack is 100k. So if we deduct 40k, like, I mean, there's already around 35 to 40k in chips and dead money in the middle, right? And that's why he's calling Jack 8 off, which I think is a really good call. I would have probably, if I wouldn't have timed out, I would have probably ISO shoved the 5-4 suited there. Luckily I timed out. Ace-8 suited, we are going to reshove against Giraffe, I think, as well, yeah. We have 20 bigs. I think it's alright. We can also call, but I think it's strong enough. My rejamming range would be Ace-10 off, Ace-8 suited plus, Ace-9 suited plus, something like this. 10-6 suited, I'm just going to check shove on this flop. And here we're just going to shove. Maybe a hold. Let's go. And he calls ace queen high, which I think is okay. I would definitely jam a bunch of draws here, of course. Where can I see? Why is the replayer not loading? Where is the replayer? That's so weird. Can't see the replayer. I mean, I was quite aggressive. It was my third reshove in like past 5 hands, and also a ton of 3-betting before. So yeah, now we got a solid stack we can work with. Maybe there's one tournament where we gonna run a little deeper than just close to the bubble or just to in the money. And this is what you guys always need to keep in mind. There's one tournament, one shot, easy reshove here, like 15 bigs, shoving, king jack off blind versus blind. I'm gonna call here the king, even though we have just 16 big blinds, we haven't been in position, we can still play post flop. And we are winning. Wow, that was a sweat. Easy call here with the 8s. Jack. We are out of this tournament, I think. Yep. Yeah, there's always one tournament where you have your shot where you might run deep. So we're just gonna wait for this tournament. Ace king, easy call. Wow, so many outs. No, not anymore. We're also out of this tournament. So you can see bounty tournaments, high variance. Wow. King queen off. Pretty standard, just got unlucky there. But I already had this so many times where you just play your game and then in most of the all-ins you lose. And then there's one tournament where you just win everything. So you just got to stay patient and wait for this tournament, and then it's time to collect the monies. And if it's not today, it might be next time. And that's all about poker. And that's what I always try to preach people. Just stay calm, relax. Ace queen suited, doing a mix of 3-betting and calling. Big blind is quite short, so I'm just gonna jam here. Ace king off, pretty standard. This guy is very aggressive, so as you can see, he likes to 3-bet a lot. A7 off, very, very easy rejam. Yeah, I think it's alright. We don't need a 10. We don't need a 10. We don't need the 10. I wanted to say the 10. But I somehow had the 7 in mind because we had A7. And then the 10 turns into a 10. So 6 tables left. I don't think I'm going to register any more tables. Maybe the mini Sunday Supersonic can register. So 26 left. Maybe it's this one, but then you might have another big flip. And this is what you guys need to understand. So as you can see here also, to run deep, to have a deep run, to reach the final table, you also need a decent amount of luck. So always be very grateful when you reach the final table, and keep in mind you already needed a shit ton of luck. And if it doesn't work out that well, keep in mind you needed that luck previously. What is going on with the replay? I really would like to see what happened there. I mean, I can take the hand to note replayer, which is actually pretty good. So raise. He leads 8s. Okay, that's alright. Check. Bet, overbet river. Interesting. So overbet river is quite strong. Once he checks back and then he rivers something. Bet check overbet, rather strong. Having an all-in situation here with ace king off. And we hold. And we got a new table. King 8 off here, blind versus blind. 13 bigs, we have to call. Ace 9 off. We are going GG. Going to 3-bet here. It's a decent hand. With decent blockers against his in-get range. Oh, against his trapping range. So I'm gonna... And then of course we have to call him off. Easy call here. And easy call here with the ace king off. Oops. Oops. Threes I think is a little bit too close here against early position. Pocket fives I'm going to reshove. We still have 40 bigs, so it's all good. We're still in 10th position. So we're in distance to the top 10 stack. Yeah, I mean 90k in the middle. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to 3-bet normal size and not only 3-bet size against him. Because if I re-raise now he folds, he jams, I can be sure he has a trap and I can easily fold. Or let's say if I commit myself against him and then this guy jams as well, what is he doing it with? Like jacks, 10s, 9s are probably 3-betting preflop anyway, and I'm behind against those hands anyway. Or a king queen suited is not going broke, it's not going to jam, it's just going to call. My squeeze eventually. I definitely need to work on my HUD. I'm not a big fan of the current design, but I just wanted to test it, wanted to see, okay, what is in there, what are the pop-ups. Easy reshove here with a7 off against this cutoff open. Uh, 10-7 off I would defend, 10-6 off is a little too close. King-9 off is an okay hand to raise here. Button is very, very passive. 3-bet over 500 hands, 0.9. 3-bets once in cutoff and was aces. So that means that on average we're going to realize more equity, because these kind of hands, which usually should be raise folds, we're still going to see a flop often enough. Against this big blind range, I think it's still fine to bet. If I would have king and clubs or 9 and clubs, I would have continued barreling, but my hand is a little too weak. So this $215, we have 50 players left. We are currently in 28 positions, so somewhere in the middle. Here in the 530, we have 52 left and 12 to the money. And the other ones, I mean, here it's still late registration, 8 minutes. But yeah, 11 places paid, so it's also still long way to go, probably in around 2 hours. Jack 9 suited, decent hand to bluff 3-bet. It's also fine to reshove less than 30 bigs. You will be surprised how many hands you can actually go all in with from button cutoff against cutoff hijack with these sort of hands. But I think people are quite passive when it comes to reshoving. I mean, only afraid of the king, queen, ace, non-spade, which are only 9 outs. I'm just gonna bet very small here. I also don't mind a check back with this hand. Oh wow. Oh wow, 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 wow. Such a dream flop, and then Yay. 4 tables left, 1 a.m. Might be a new record. But I might be able to go to bed rather soon today, eventually. So everything has a positive side. Queen 7 off against the min-raise. I'm going to defend, and yeah, if he rejams, we have an easy fold. In 1 minute break, I'm gonna wrap it up then and focus on the last 4 tables. If there is something deeper, so the final table, I will gonna start recording again. But I think 4 tables now, full ring, there's not gonna be that much action. I think it's gonna be too boring for you guys. So let's see if we get one more spot or one more hand that might be interesting. Probably also gonna race against him since he's so passive with a 6-5 off from the small blind. Check to see, we're gonna check back, and then we're probably done with the last hand. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, drop it down in the comments or join our Discord. I would always advise come our Discord, ask your questions there, and then hopefully next time we're gonna have a little bit of a better run. And I think it's also good footage where you can see how I struggle or how I deal with bad run and how I really try to stay calm and rational and not let emotions take over. So I hope you have a few takeaways from the session, and then see you guys next time. Ciao, ciao.